Hi, today I'm going to show you how to make some burgers. I've already done one burger recipe on my channel which look like these. Hopefully I've got that in the right place, and I'll leave a little link to the recipe up in this corner. These ones are going to be a little bit different. These are going to be like a smash burger that you would compress down onto a hot plancha grill, but I don't have a hot plancha grill, so I'm going to show you a different way of doing it. All you're going to need to start with is I've got two 500 gram packs of minced beef, which I've tried to keep as square as I can out of their packets. If not, I'll tell you a different way in a second how to do it. You're going to need a decent sized knife. You're going to need a saucepan or a bowl or something with a bit of weight behind it that's just got a flat bottom, and whatever seasoning you want to put on. You can just put salt and pepper if you fancy, or I've got loads of barbecue rubs that I like to use, so I'm going to put that on. And you're going to need some cling film, so I'll just bring the camera over and show you what we're going to do. So what we're going to do first is, as you can see, I've got my packet of minced beef. Now, depending on how big your burger buns are, how many you feed in, depends on how many you cut this up. So I'm going to today, the easiest way to get this all even is cut it in half, like so, and just wiggle them apart a little bit. Turn that round. Then I'm going to go into thirds, like that. Don't worry if it falls apart a little bit, it's not a major issue, especially when you see what we're going to do with it in a second. Then what we do is we just move that out of the way a little bit. Now what you want to do is get your cling film, as long as it doesn't want to fight with me. And we're going to roll it from one side of our table to the other, like that. And then we're going to get each one of our little squares and just roll it into a little circle and pop it onto your cling film. We haven't put any seasoning in this yet or anything, we're going to do that in just a second. I obviously didn't cut these very evenly, but it's not a major issue. Right, next what we're going to do is get rid of that. Get another sheet of cling film. If you can't get them all on in one go, you just have to do them in a couple of different batches. If you don't have any cling film, you can use baking paper if you want, silicone paper, parchment paper, doesn't really matter. Or even like a Ziploc bag and just cut it in half. So we've got cling film, burger balls, and cling film on top, and then get your pan of choice, whatever you want to use. You could use one of these, you could use a small jug, anything you want. And all we're going to do is just put it on and just squash them down nice and flat. If they end up touching each other, it's not a massive problem. You just go along like this. That way you'll have nice thin burgers. You can go back over them again if you want. Don't worry about them being perfectly round. If you want perfectly round burgers, buy them and make it even easier. Then we can take our top layer of cling film off. Try not to lose anything. Now what we can do is get your seasoning of choice. I've got some of this, which a friend got for me from America, I do believe. And I'm just going to sprinkle some of this over. But if you haven't got any of this, you can just use salt, pepper if you want, onion granules, garlic granules, paprika, Cajun seasoning. You could put nothing on if you really fancy. Just put a little bit of this on. And just give it a little pat down so that it's stuck. And we can flip them over and do the other side the same way. Then all we're going to do is get a plate or a tray or something, pop your burgers on. Yet again, if they overlap a little, it's not a major problem. Put them on. And then you can always tear the cling film to make your next layer. Put these on. And then we're just going to pop these in the fridge for a couple of hours. And it just helps the seasoning get into them, and it helps the meat set and firm up a little bit better. So for now, that's all you need to do. Pop them in the fridge for a couple of hours, or you can even make them the day before if you want. Fire them in the fridge, and then we'll get them out later when we're going to cook them. I forgot to say, if your mince doesn't come in a nice little square packet, and you don't have a set of scales, the easiest way is you can season it up first if you want, or afterwards like I did. But if not, just roll it into a sausage shape, about the sort of size of a roll of cling film. And then when you want to portion it up, just cut it in half, and then cut each half in half again, and then just keep doing that until you get to the size you want, and then carry on with the squashing with the pan process, and you'll get the same effect. So coals are nice and hot. Got my burgers ready, so let's get them on. Now obviously they're only thin, so they don't take very long, so we can cook these direct, which if you're not sure is straight over the charcoal. If we were doing fatter burgers, we would cook them indirect, which is away from the charcoal. Then we'll just give them a couple of minutes each side and they'll be done. So the burgers are starting to get a nice bit of colour now, so we're going to turn them over. Don't be scared of them. As I say to a lot of people I cook with, you're in charge of the burger. The burger is not in charge of you. As you can see now, I'm moving the burgers that are already cooked over to the side of the grill that's the safe zone, that's got no heat below it. I'm going to put the burgers that aren't quite cooked yet over onto the side with the flames. That way I can control how everything's cooking and nothing gets burnt. Now, once they're all pretty much cooked, they've had, I don't know, 2-3 minutes on each side now, we're going to move them over to the indirect side of the grill, put a slice of cheese on each one. And then we'll just pop the lid on and that will melt all the cheese. Right, so they've had another 2 minutes with the lid on now, so let's see what we've got underneath. You can see the cheese is all nicely melted now. So now we can take them off to rest for a couple of minutes while we toast our buns. And then as always, when you finish with your barbecue, close all your vents top and bottom to save any leftover charcoal you got left, ready for next time. So just make sure it's all shut, no air can get in, and you'll have a bit of charcoal to start off with for next time. So now we've got all our ingredients, we can build our burger. So I'm going to go with, I've made some, not barbecue sauce, some burger sauce from one of the most famous barbecue burger restaurants you can go from. Now I'm not a big clown, so I might say I am, but I've made it as close as I can. We're going to pop in a bit of lettuce on the base, preferably. A bit of tomato, and then it depends how many burgers you want. You can load it up as tall as you fancy, and away you go. One nice big stacked up burger. If you want, you can just put one in if it's for a little kid or someone that's not very hungry, or if you're an absolute animal, you can put loads in there. Totally your choice.